Hey, what's good, my good people? Yes, it is that time again. You know what time it is. You know where you is. You know what it is. Hopefully, you know who I is. And if you don't, that's okay. It's all about you. It's all about this. What is this? This is the I Am the Possible podcast experience. Oh, yes, the place where we aspire to inspire the innovation of your identity. And it is me, your host, Travail C.W. Lynch, Mr. What? Got the what cap on today. Mr. What, your self-worth specialist. Guys, I'm so happy. I'm so excited. I'm so jiggy. This morning, this afternoon, this evening, whenever, however you are watching me, thank you for joining me this week and investing in yourself, taking you and your development seriously. As you grow, as you develop, as you mature, guess what? You are influencing, impacting, growing, developing those around you. You are literally making this world a better place because you are taking you seriously. So thank you. I salute you, guys. Let's jump into it. You know how we do around here, around her. You know what we do. Guys, I want to open up with an idea. Environment is everything. How does that hit you? If you are watching on the tube, and hopefully you are watching on the tube, trying to get my YouTube subscribership up. So hopefully you are watching on the tube. If you're not watching on the tube and you are a visual person, if you like watching, maybe this is your first time joining me, then I want to invite you to head over to YouTube. It is a visual version, a visual experience of this podcast, and you can join us. You can watch live, and you can, leave comments and leave information. You can chat. So I would love to have the interaction. I want to know, what do you think about that statement? When you first hear it, environment is everything. How does that hit you, right? How does that come across? And if you are listening on a podcast platform, then I would love your comments. How does that hit you? Environment is everything, right? Because you might think something else is everything, right? And so my job is just to present my case, but I would love to hear what you think. Perhaps you think something differently. Perhaps you hold something else in terms of a high priority. So maybe for you, environment isn't everything, right? But that's today's topic. We are going to be talking about how the environment impacts our achievements. But before we do that, you know what we got to do. We got to jump into our intro slides and our intro information. But before we do that, then let me go ahead and give you the full idea for today, and then we'll come back to that. Okay. Today's episode, it is called The Effects of an Environment on Personal Achievement. I got a little tongue-tied there because what I was doing in the earlier episodes of this season, I was saving the idea of the day, the actual, title of the episode. I was saving that until after the intro slides, but I recently decided to put it up near the front because I want you to know, I don't want to waste your time. Your time is precious. So I wanted you to know immediately what this episode was about. And so going forward, I'm going to switch the order, right? So I'm still kind of getting used to that, but I want the idea to lead us off because perhaps this isn't for you. Perhaps you're like, nah, I don't really need to know about that. So I'm good. I'm going to go to my other person's podcast, right? I don't take that personal, not a problem. So I'm going to start putting the ideas up front. That way you will know almost immediately, at least within the first 5 minutes, you will know if this is something for you to listen to, something that you'll find value in. And then if not, then you can keep it pushing And I'll see you next week, right? So today's idea, guys, the effects of an environment on personal achievement. But before we head into the actual meat of the topic, we got to do our intros. What is our mission, guys? The mission of the iAMthepossible podcast experience. Our mission here is to share ideas, information, individuals, because I do have guests that come on from time to time, that will inspire you to think of yourself in a way that makes the life you want possible. Guys, many times we want a life that does not align with the way that we see ourselves. Zig Ziglar says it best: you cannot perform, right, at a level that is inconsistent with the way that you see yourself. It's just not happening. Well, actually, he says you cannot perform in a manner. I said level, but a manner or level in a way that is inconsistent with the way that you see yourself. There's a direct correlation between how you see yourself and the way you behave. And it is fascinating. I've dedicated my entire life to it. I love it. I love to talk about it. I love to share. I love to work on it. I love to work on myself. And I love to help you work on you. All right. What is our confession, guys? In the iAMthepossible, excuse me, had to get readjusted here in my seat. Here in the iAMthepossible universe, we believe in the power of the tongue, the glove, the hand of the tongue. Proverbs 18 tells us that we have life and death in our tongue. We can confess what we want to create in this world. And so if you are a person who believes in confessions and you don't mind confessing with us, go ahead and join me and confess after me. I'm about to learn something that will transform the way I think about myself and help make the life I want possible. That's a pretty good confession, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited. All right, guys, we got a disclaimer. Disclaimer alert. That's right, guys, we got a disclaimer. The ideas expressed on this podcast serve only as a component of a complex puzzle, a very complex puzzle, a very deep rabbit hole called human behavior. So I am only offering a piece to the puzzle. This is not the end all do all. And I wouldn't serve you well if I didn't tell you, because I don't know where you are in life. You may be at a place where you require professional help. That is not, listen, when I say that, don't take that in the wrong way. What I mean by that is counseling, therapy. These are good things. And this platform will give you some pretty dope information. I mean, the ideas that I share, and really, let me step back. The ideas that I've become aware of, whether it's through personal time and prayer, things that God has dropped on me, whether it's things that I've read, whether it's things that others have taught me, and I'm sharing them with you. These are things that I have found value in. They've worked for me, and they may work for you. But there may be issues, problems, drama and trauma that you've gone through that maybe, you need to seek professional help. I have a mindset coach. I've got mentors, right? I've got people in my life that surround me and that support me on a professional level, right? So we all need that help, man. So if this podcast or if anything else that you're listening to, if it's not getting it done for you and the quality of your life is not where you want it to be, then I strongly encourage you and suggest that you get the help that you need. Okay, that makes sense? Cool, let's do it. Boom. Back to the idea of the week: the effects of an environment on personal achievement. Did you know that your environment influences your level of achievement toward a goal, dream, vision, right? Did you know that in large part, the environment, your surroundings, has a huge impact? And in my estimation, it's everything. Like, it's the game changer. Your environment decides in large part whether you will succeed or fail at what it is that you're looking to achieve. Now, I've got this personal story to share with you. I was out running with my wife, and that's really because I get a lot of inspiration when I'm out running. And I'm so proud of her. Shout out to my wife. I'm so proud. Mrs. Andrea Rose Lynch. She just finished 13 miles earlier today before I'm even recording this. So proud of her. We're preparing for this half marathon that we're going to run in just 8 days, actually. And so as I'm recording this, or well, let me say it, as I was running, right, I thought of recording this because I was inspired by the idea that I had when I began to observe how inspired I was during this 13-mile run. Now, you may say, well, that's no big deal. Okay, but let me give it some context. Let me give it some meat. Let me put some meat on the bone. When I was running my first half marathon, when I was training, actually all four of my children has attended this particular high school in the area that we live in right now, and they have an amazing track, all right, an amazing football field. They dumped millions of dollars into renovating this field, so it's a world-class track and field and football field. And I was trained on this track, and the track can get pretty boring after a while. You're just going in circles, right? And but it was cool, shout out to KB Kyle Brown who trained me. He's the son of Pastor Eric Brown, who you've heard a million times because I've testified about him almost in every episode, because he really sparked my whole communication career. But Kyle Brown, who is just a phenomenal runner, running like the wind. And so he trained me for my first half marathon. So we would always meet up at this track. So that's where I trained. And now with my wife, as I'm helping to train and ready her for this half marathon, from time to time, we would use the track. And then on days maybe when she would sleep in or she would train at a different time, I would go up to this track. So the point of this whole track is very uninspiring. Running around this track is very uninspiring. Then there's this beautiful golf course that's next to the high school where the track is. And we would run around this park. It's about a 2.5 mile run. So sometimes we'd run it once, run it twice, depending on the miles that we wanted to get in. And that kind of got a little bit, bleh, yeah, I could do it, but right, you know how it goes. But today, and here's my point. When I was running the track, it would be for like 3 miles, 4 miles, right? Maybe every once in a while, 6 miles. And then we would do like a combination run. We would run sometimes at the track, and then we would run sometimes at the park. And sometimes we would like mix it up, right? Do 2 miles here, 3, 4 miles here, right? Different combinations, trying to mix it up. And like I said, you can definitely do it. And I've done it, but I wasn't inspired, right? We're training to complete this half marathon. That's the achievement. I'm giving you, an example, kind of putting it into context. And I noticed the other day when I went over to the track, I was only looking to do 3 miles, and it was hard to finish those 3 miles. Now, was it hard to finish the 3 miles? Was it hard to achieve the achievement? Or was it the environment? Watch this. So today we're out doing the 13 miles. And so we wanted to run 6.5 in one way. And then once we clocked 6.5, we would just turn around and we would do the reverse coming home. It's 13 miles. This is 10 times the 3 miles. Well, sorry, bad math. 4 times, right? 4 times and some, not 10 times. I was thinking, I don't know. Anyway, I wasn't a math whiz in high school, so forgive me. But my point is that this is 4 times the distance of the track. The track was hard to run, but it was only 3 miles. Today we're running the streets of California, multiple cities over multiple cities. Beautiful scenery, mountains, right? Beautiful streets, beautiful houses, nice people along the way. Don't you know I ran 6 miles almost effortlessly? Why do you think that was? Environment. Now, you can use this and put this into any context. And I'm going to be giving you some context, right, to give this a bit more value. But I tell that story to kind of outline, to kind of give it some framework, to give it some flavor. I was able to run twice as far in one direction as I was at the track because the environment changed. The beauty, the scenery. It was like the air was, the air quality was better all of a sudden, right? I mean, it was beautiful. The environment changed. What achievement do you have in life right now? A goal, a dream, a vision, something that you've aimed at, that you really want to achieve, that you really want to accomplish, but it seems difficult. I'm not saying that it definitely is. I'm saying it could be your environment. Maybe the task isn't hard. Maybe what you're looking to achieve isn't hard, but maybe the environment, and I'm going to show you in just a moment why, maybe the environment is making your achievement more difficult. And I'm going to show you why. Let me share with you why. Check this out. Oh, can't do that view. Let's do that view. There we go. Okay, guys, check this out. The effects of an environment. Now, there's actually more, but I didn't want to go super sophisticated, like super deep, heavy, deep. This is one of those episodes where I just wanted to offer a new idea, a little bit of insight, and then allow you to kind of build around it. Environments have elements. What do I mean by that? I grew up in the hood. Just like running, right? Remember I was telling you, mountains and nice neighborhoods and nice people and scenery and restaurants, and people were, man, we ran by this bakery. Oh my goodness, that thing almost derailed us, man. I told my wife, do you smell that? And then she was like, yeah, it's like they're like baking fresh croissants. Like, man, I'm about to can this run and go in here and get me some some pastries, man. But yeah, right. So just like the running environment, giving a backstory or giving a little bit of my background, I grew up in the hood, not the worst hood in the world, definitely not like South Central Compton type stuff, but it was the inner city, right? It was rough enough, to where I got bullied half my doggone life and had more issues than I could handle, right? I've seen some things that a child should have never seen, and endure some stuff that I never should have had to endure, emotionally, physically, right? But I grew up in the hood, right? And so there was drugs, there was violence, there was domestic violence, there was hood violence, guns, just all sorts of mess. I share that because environments have elements. Now, what if I would have grown up in, let's say, and listen, please take what I'm saying as not as an absolute. Okay, I'm gonna just share what I share, but obviously I don't know every intricate detail of every situation. I'm just giving you some contrast. Okay, all right. So let's say I grew up in Beverly Hills. Would I have seen people addicted to crack cocaine standing on the corners? Would I have seen, guys pulling up, jumping out the car, attacking other guys? Would I have witnessed, you know, hand-to-hand drug sales on a regular basis? Would I have witnessed people breaking into homes? Would I have witnessed people, cussing other people out and doing, that's why I say maybe you would have seen some of that stuff. Who knows? But you get my point. If you grow up in South Central LA versus growing up in Bel Air, right? There's a difference. Let's just keep it 100. You are going to get different elements, right? And so with the elements, guys, then you're going to get exposure. You're going to be exposed to these elements, right? So let's keep that contrast. And I want you to put this in your context for whatever the achievement is that you're looking for, right? Because you are trying to achieve something, but you are in a certain environment or environments while trying to achieve this thing. Now, your environments, when you go into them, these environments carry certain elements. And whatever these elements are, you are exposing yourself to, and they are having an effect on you. They are influencing you. They are impacting you. They are rubbing off on you. That's just how it goes. No one's Iron Man. This isn't Marvel Comics. This isn't some superhero movie or something, man. We are humans, dude. This is just real talk. If you are in an environment, it's impacting you. Even if you try to ignore it or pretend like it's not there or act like you all good. No, if you're around it, it's working on you. It's like someone going to the military or going into war, right? They come back shell shocked. They come back with nightmares. They come back with, and that's not good. Again, that's not everybody. Everyone doesn't come back like that, but some do. And the ones that don't come back like really an emotional wreck, they at least come back with visions and ideas and images in their head that, man, no man should have to maybe endure, right? Or they come back with ideas about society or about the government or about others that maybe that environment influenced so heavily that they've never quite been the same. So keeping with this contrast, whatever environment you're in, it has certain elements in it. Those elements expose you to things, right? So now you're exposed to these elements, and through your exposure, you're going to have some sort of emotional engagement. These elements, they're going to trigger certain emotional, or they're going to become emotional triggers of some sort. In other words, you're going to engage with these things on a mental level, on a emotional level. Like for example, me growing up in the hood, when I would hear gunshots, I would fear for my life. I would fear that someone got shot. I would fear that someone's dead. That's an emotion, right? And so when I grew up in that environment and I heard those gunshots, I was conditioned to, flinch or to kind of be afraid. And so emotionally, when I hear gunshots go off, for me, it's not, oh, that's okay, that's cool. I'm having visions and images of violence and things not going so well. My point is that you're going to have some sort of emotional engagement with what you are being exposed to. I grew up in a home with a lot of domestic violence. So even to this day, when I hear my children, they could be in any other room. Maybe they're not even arguing, but they're getting loud with each other and they're being a little aggressive. That triggers memories for me. And most of the time I will address it. I'll say, hey, y'all good? What's going on? Y'all okay? And they'll say, yeah, no big deal. See, to them, they ain't never seen nobody hit their mama. They ain't never seen their daddy run out the house with a gun. They didn't grow up with none of this stuff. I did. I saw all this. I saw my mother beat for years, eyes black and blue, abused by men, right? I grew up, man, seeing my mother on drugs and alcohol. I grew up seeing my uncle, I grew up seeing my family members, abused. I grew up seeing people endure violence and get misused. I grew up to then abuse other people as well. So not only did I witness it, but then I grew up to then replicate and duplicate the images in which I grew up watching and seeing, because it had gotten in. That's why I say, don't fool yourself. The environment that you're in contain elements that then you are exposed to, and then you are engaging with on an emotional level, and those things are sticking with you. They are sticking with you. And they're being tucked away in your heart. And if they're not dealt with, they become, strongholds. They become belief systems. They become frameworks. They become your view of life, the perceptions that you carry about life. And you're not even aware of it. And you're living a certain way, and you're thinking a certain way, and you're behaving a certain way. And it's either positively impacting your ability to achieve, or it's negatively impacting your ability to achieve. That's why I say environment is everything. Your environment will either say no to your dreams, or it will nurture your dreams. When I was growing up, my environment was telling me no, you will not succeed. You will not do good things. You will not go on to, achieve greatness in this world. No. You stutter, you're overweight, your mother's a crackhead, your father ain't in your life, yada, yada, yada. You ain't no good. You are an outcast. You're not wanted. You're not accepted over here. That's all I got as a child. Not from everybody, and not from, my family, but the environment produced those things. I was made fun of. I was talked about. I was isolated. I was alienated. I was bullied. I was picked on. I was abused. I was sexually abused. Right? So all that stuff adds up, man. And after a while, you're like, yo, this is how life is. Okay. Got it. Right? Roger that, as my man David Goggins would say, right? Roger that. I got it. Think about your life. What's gotten in, man? What's influencing you? What's impacting you on an emotional level, because of the elements that you are exposed to, because of the environment that you're in? See how that's affecting your achievements? It's either slowing you down or it's pushing you forward. I'm sharing a lot of the negative stuff, but it works just the same if it's positive. Because the minute I got into church, and that was another note that I wanted to share. The minute I got into church, then I was nurtured. Then I was told I could. Then I was told I will. Then I believed in me, believed in society, believed in God, believed in my spouse, believed in my children, believed in others. I gained a healthy appreciation for humanity because I began to be a part of a community that loved me, that accepted me, that welcomed me. Shout out to First Church of God, Toledo, Ohio. Shout out to Pasadena Church, the church with no limits. Shout out to my spiritual father, Pastor Kerwin L. Manning. Shout out to my spiritual mother, Madeline Denise D. Manning. Shout out, man. These are people that took me in, man, and said, yep, you worth something, dude. Yep, you about something. I can rock with you. Because my environment changed. Last thing, guys, and I've already kind of covered it. The expression. Once you engage emotionally and that junk gets in you, or that positive stuff gets in you, then you begin to express yourself. And I say that I already covered it because that's what I was talking about earlier when, I got older and then I began to do the stupid stuff that I was witnessing as a child. I began to rob. That's how I got my butt in jail, right? Facing 15 years. because I grew up watching violence and robberies and all that stuff. And then I grew up and got old enough and big enough to do it myself. And I did. And I ended up, going to jail. And that's where I met Christ. That's where I learned about Jesus, right? So, you will express yourself according to the emotional engagement, right? Based upon the exposure, based upon the elements, based upon the environment. And if you're not watching on the tube, you should be watching on the tube. I know I say that a lot, but I say that, not only because I'm trying to grow and I desire to grow my YouTube channel, because I want to get this information out to more people, right? And I want it more visible. But I also mention it because I share slides. So if you are just an audible person and you like riding and listening to me, dope. Keep doing that. Do your thing. But I also want to serve those who are visual learners. And so if you are a visual learner, the reason I mention YouTube a lot is because I'm sharing slides. So this whole progression, environment, elements, exposure, emotional engagement, expression, these are on the screen. And so you can kind of see some of these things, and they tend to stick more, right? When you see them, right? So, yeah, hope and pray that these things have made sense to you, man. Hope and pray that I've kind of made my case about environments, how environments affect our personal achievement. All right, guys, here is the homework call to action steps that I want you to take before I ask for your support, as I always do. Hey, you have not because you ask not. All right, guys. So I want you to consider what it is that you want to achieve. And I want you to begin to observe the environments that you are a part of. And I want you to ask this question. Are you a part of environments that support or sabotage your achievement? I want you to put the category out there, right? Right. Hey, check this out. Grab a piece of paper, right? Cross the top, line down the middle, right? And sorry. Let's do this. Midway down the piece of paper, right? Midway down, I want you to draw the line across, and then draw the line down the middle, midway down. And at the top, I want you to list, right, on the left-hand side, the environments. And then on the right-hand side, on the top, list the environment, right? So for example, and I know I'm doing a lot right now, right? Here's my point. Scratch that. Here's my point, because I'm trying to kind of make it up in the moment. But here's the deal. Just grab some paper, right? Because I do believe in instructing the handwriting, right? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to grab a piece of paper, grab pen, write down the environment on line 1. Let's say, I don't know, my home environment. Let's just say, I don't want you to leave your home, but I'm just saying, right? But let's just say my home environment. And then under that, is it supportive or is it sabotaging? Skip a line, next environment. I go to the gym. I don't know, right? Support, sabotage. Next, support or sabotage. Next, support or right? And continue to do that, and just complete that exercise. Again, guys, I'm about awareness. That next level stuff, that next step stuff, that's the stuff that we can work on through my one-on-one coaching. That's the stuff that we can work on through some of the master classes that I'm creating. That's the stuff that we can work on, or you can work on with people that I can suggest and point you to, right? Some of that deeper stuff. Or you can read, or you can study, or you can go out and get information on to help you with some of those deeper things. I specialize in awareness, bringing some things to light, helping you to discover some things, right? Because for some of us, you want to achieve something, and you've been trying, but it seems like this unspoken, unseen, force kind of just keeps holding you back. And maybe it's your environment, maybe it's toxic, maybe it's suffocating. Maybe it's not giving you the creative space and the creative air that you need to be who you really want to be and do what it is that you really want to do, right? So it's time to change your environment, guys. All right, guys, that is it. Time to wrap it up. Time to shut it down. Tell somebody. Help me. Tell somebody. Let somebody know that this podcast is available. If you found value in it, then I'm sure somebody else will as well. Help them out as I'm helping you out. All right, let's keep this thing going. Each one teach one, each one reach one. All right, guys, leave me a comment, please. YouTube, drop all the comments you want. All the comments that you are inspired to leave, please do so. Good, bad, or indifferent. If you have any questions, suggestions, feedback, future topics that you would like me to cover, info@iamthepossible.com. info@iamthepossible.com. Hit me up. YouTube, please go and subscribe. Hit that little bell in the lower right-hand corner. Become a part of the notification nation so that you not only get every single one of these episodes, experiences of the I Am the Possible podcast experience, you also will be notified and you will be in on all of the amazing organic content that I upload each and every week to help you stay on fire for your future. All right. And hey, I might turn it into something. Fire for your future. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's already been taken. Who cares? I don't know. Just something I said, but it will help you. It will help you. Apple Podcasts or any podcast platform that you are on, please subscribe and download each and every episode. Help me to rank. Leave me a review, comments, feedback, good, bad, or indifferent. Doesn't matter. Activity creates activity. Okay. Motion creates motion. So if you're doing something, if you're helping me out, if you're engaging with me anywhere, somehow, some way, I'm sure there is some analytic somewhere. There is some Google bot picking up data and collecting it and creating a higher ranking for the podcast or higher ranking for the search engine somehow, some way. So the more you guys engage with me, the more you help me out and you help get this word out to the world and all of the universe, which is the goal. We want to expand and increase our reach. All right, guys, that's it. Another one down. Love you guys. Praying for you guys. Believe in you guys. Until next time, go out today and in some way, that's right, you know what to do. Be why it's possible. Until next time, peace.